What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed above directly at WiseTake.com. If you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level, we are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out. Day passes available if you want to try us out. That being said, if you're new to this channel, welcome. You've come to the right place with some free fire DFS content, so make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell, don't miss out on any of the free content we put out. Currently covering MLB slates Monday through Friday, MLB main slates Monday through Friday, meaning we stream live Sunday night through Thursday night with our first look right here. It's all free. That being said, don't forget to hit the like button, leave some comments, share the show as much as you can, and let's get things rolling. Shout out to Pat Bush. Says, what's up, WiseTake Nation? Hope everyone's doing well on the slate. I'll find out. I got one team that's doing all right, but I had it in smaller contests, and then I got another team that I'm hoping if I can min cash too, I'll make some money on the day. So that's what I'm looking for. I was a smart guy, and Jonathan Adams, Harper, Riley, Bader with Cincinnati, fire, definitely fire. And if you played that, tip of the cap to you, my friend. I after my smooth moves yesterday, pivoting off the Astros today, I stacked Atlanta. 5-man stack of Atlanta. So I played 5 out of the 8 possible hitters. And one of the hitters I left out was Austin Riley. So just phenomenal. But I'm hoping on the flip side, I did choose Tatis and Machado to cover shortstop and third. That's why I didn't play Swansby or Riley. So we'll see. That'll probably come back to haunt me. But anyway, we were in the right direction, I think, right? Once we saw Eichhoff was starting for the Mets, it was just like, all right, man, you got to get some Atlanta. You know what I mean? But anyway, we've got a 11-game slate. There is an early slate for those of you that want to grind it out. We won't be providing content for it, but there is an early slate, and I'm sure there'll be some guys in the Slack chat if you're a member, doing dirties. Jonathan Adams, Dane Doonan came through with 4%. Love it. You know who else is balling out right now against the Dodgers? Logan Webb. I played him last time in this situation on a smaller slate, and he got pulled early. He did fine. But he was cruising last I checked. All right, top pitchers. Walker Buehler. I would imagine Walker Buehler is going to get a lot of love. Obviously, he's good. He's got some alarming numbers. BABIP 234, that's really low, but you'll often see some of the really good pitchers that are able to maintain that. Most other pitchers are going to be around 300 or so we'll keep that in mind. 26.4% K rate is down from like what we thought we were going to get from him, but still a good, healthy strikeout rate. He's got an awesome park out in San Francisco, very hitter-friendly park. The Giants are a very good offense, 202 ISO, 110 WRC+, 333 WOBA against righties, but they also have a 25.7% strikeout rate. So he's fine. I think he'll be the optimal cash game SP1. The ones that don't feel great about him may elect to go with Zach Wheeler, who's having a career season. Not as good of a park. He's at home in Philly, very hitter-friendly park. Playing a national offense that isn't very good, right? I think Trey Turner was on a COVID list. He got pulled from the game for COVID, so you would assume he's going to be out. And then you got Juan Soto, who's one of the best hitters in baseball. Then you got a lot of pesky hitters who just don't strike out a ton. You can see a 22.3% strikeout rate against righties, a 154 ISO, 316 WOBA, 95 WRC+ against righties. He's fine. For tournaments, I'm kind of interested in Tyler Mahle. We want to see what direction the wind is blowing. We do stream this show the night before. I can take a look now just to kind of see where it's expected. Looks like 7-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to left. Not a great sign for Mr. Tyler Mahle, but I'll say this. Mahle's got a 29.2% K rate. Mahle's ownership will be a fraction of those other two. And if we look at the Chicago Cubs, who were complete sellers, 87 WRC plus, 300 WOBA, 169 ISO, 26.5% K rate to right-handed pitching. Something to keep in mind. But for tournaments only, Lucas Giolito probably gets some attention at 9.8. He hasn't. I mean, he did really well against the Astros and kind of had a mediocre start next time out. He's been average against the Royals, probably below average for him. I think the last 2 times he saw the Royals, they gave him a hard time. But Kansas City only a 22% K rate against righties. They are a pesky team, but still a 144 ISO, 302 WOBA, 89 WRC plus is not good. And he's getting a massive park boost from the small hitter friendly park in Chicago he plays to the very large pitcher friendly park in Kansas City. So I think Giolito's definitely an option. Madison Bumgarner is a shell of himself. Massive fly ball rates, but assuming the roof is closed, he's got a good park in Arlington, which we know is played more pitcher friendly. And Texas he got the second lowest WRC plus in the league against lefties at 84 with a 291 WOBA, a 133 ISO, though a 23.6% K rate's not as low as it was last year. Tyler McGill. Now I'm a little worried that he may have some regression coming, but still his xFIP and Sierra under 4, 27% K rate, at home in a really good park for pitching, Citi Field. And while Atlanta is a good offense, very good offense, 185 ISO, they got some pop, 322 WOBA. They have a 24.8% K rate, leaving room for some upside for Mr. Tyler. That's right, Tyler, if you notice. Not Tyler. Not Tyler. It's Tyler McGill. We'll see if Zach Thompson finally pitches. He was sick, got scratched from a start, and then they said he was going to pitch twice already, and he didn't. His numbers are pretty solid. It's definitely a park downgrade. He's going to have to face an extra hitter instead of the pitcher because they're in the AL playing Baltimore. But it is Baltimore. Baltimore third lowest WRC plus in league against righties with a 293 WOBA, a 154 ISO, and a 25% strikeout rate. Put him on a tournament list. Max Fried's interesting. I think I'd lean more towards the Mets offense, to be honest. And I think they can come in at low ownership. I don't have them under the top offense section. I put Fried down because I think Fried will be a very trendy SP2 on DraftKings, where people are able to find value bats, which there kind of always is these days. So, but yeah, I mean, when you look at the Mets against lefties this season, they have a 24.2% K rate, a 148 ISO, 312 WOBA. They're missing Francisco Lindor. So, I mean, yeah, I think Fried is at least on the list initially. Andrew Heaney, man, I'm starting to feel bad because, as you can see, his xFIP and Sierra are not bad. A 27.9% K rate, not bad, but a 5.32 ERA. He's been a little unlucky with the balls put into play, but it's when is this positive progression going to hit? He's really cheap. He can end up being popular because he's so cheap. Problem is, Colorado, while they have sunk down to a 90 WRC plus against lefties with a 327 WOBA and a 169 ISO, despite the fact that they play in Coors, that's their home park, they only have a 20.9% K rate against lefties. They could be tough to strike out, but I think Heaney, we certainly have to analyze that because even if he's not getting, he's got a 27%. He's got good strikeout shit, right? He's got above average strikeout shit at 27.9% K rate. That's all I'm saying. Top offenses. Maybe this is finally the time the White Sox come through. Eloy Jimenez did a home run, his first home run back from a long stint on the injured list. Chris Bubick, as you can see, not very good. 4.93 xFIP, 5 Sierra, only a 19% K rate. The White Sox against Mike Minor, they sucked, but they still are tied for third with the third. They're still tied with the third highest WRC plus in the league against lefties at 112. A 172 ISO. This is a park downgrade for them, obviously, but they could come in a little bit lower owned than they should be because of the park. When Chris Bubick is arguably one of the worst pitchers on the slate. The Angels will face maybe this might be the actual worst pitcher on the slate. Not even on a numbers basis, because Zach Davies given a run for his money, but Chichi's bad, right? Chichi's real bad. The Angels have been playing well offensively, even without Mike Trout, even without Anthony Rendon. Ohtani is just a beast. They have a 176 ISO, a 23.7% K rate. And the Angels do have a lot of right-handed power, which is what Chichi really struggles with. So the lefties he's going to see are pretty good, right? Ohtani, Walsh, and then he's got a bunch of mediocre-ass righties, but that's kind of where he struggles the most. So I think the Angels are in play. Michael Walker's on the slate. So we're going to look at the Yankees. It's not a good park. It's not a very good park at all. But the Yankees have been playing a little bit better offensively. They're starting to get some guys back, from my understanding. Numbers aren't anything special against righties, but Michael Walker sucks. Only problem is Tampa's bullpen is good. That's the only problem. I mentioned Zach Davies earlier. Where you at, bye? Davies, a 4.3 ERA, but a 5.29. The highest xFIP in Sierra on the slate. Even higher than Chichi Gonzalez. We talked about wins potentially blowing out. The Reds have been hitting just fine in this park over here. We know Cincinnati, 103 WRC plus, 329 WOBA, 169 ISO, and only a 23% K rate against righties. We should expect to see the ball put in play. Votto's been red hot, double donged, Winker homered. The Reds should definitely draw some attention, especially if those winds remain blowing out in any direction. If it's out at all, there'll be people will be excited to play the Reds. Phillies against Patrick Corbin. This is the last one. And again, this is a first look show. These offenses are the ones that I think most people are going to see and have interest in, right? I do write an article at WiseTake.com, my core plays article, where I go over my favorite stacks. I go over my favorite cash game pitchers, tournament pitchers, all that shit. Core, of course. And Paulie D does his cheat sheet or his dirt sheet. We've got cheat sheets, projections, all that shit available. So just putting that out there after we've done some research. This is the first look show I do with y'all. Right? This is where we go through this thing together. Chat rank, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, John Adams says Gutierrez for Cincinnati didn't do too bad tonight. It's because the Cubs suck. Right? And I mean, listen, they got Rizzo, Bryant, Baez didn't play. Wilson Contreras. They got some good players, but they're not really in it. Right? Although I don't know if anybody saw the Baez walk-off the other night against Amir Garrett. He pinch hit. He's been nursing a heel. Just needed a sac fly to win the game, and he hit one on the first pitch, and he hates him and Amir Garrett have some beef, and that shit was fucking hilarious. If you didn't see that, go see that. If you didn't see that, go see that. But the Phillies against Corbin. Corbin's been a shell of himself. Philly has some lefty masters. They do strike out a lot against lefties, but they have lefty masters, Rhys Hoskins. They are missing Alec Bama, but we'll admit that. But Andrew McCutchen has been one of the best hitters, one of the best numbers on a career basis against lefties. They got Gene Segura, they got Real Muto, they got some righties, and they got lefties who could hit lefties like Bryce Harper. So I think the Phillies could be interesting too. Things to watch. So Nestor Cortez, he didn't pitch too many pitches. I would think he's going to be on somewhat of a limit. He's expected to start against Tampa. He gets a massive park boost, and he has a 31% K rate. He's 6'1". If you wanted to go a different route and you were willing to take a chance of this guy only throwing 50 pitches and just trying to see how much damage he could do with those 50 pitches, that could be interesting. Or it's long relief bullpen day for the Rays, and then their offense is maybe being a little overlooked. But 25.5% K rate against righties. The D-backs will go against Jordan Lyles. Lyles, I think, is terrible. I am man enough to admit that I have played Lyles in certain circumstances. And if I didn't win, it wasn't actually because of him. It wasn't winning me shit. But the D-backs have been terrible offensively, obviously. Second worst WRC plus in the league against righties, 81 WRC plus, 294 WOBA, 134 ISO, 24.3% K rate. But they got some guys that could hit, man. They do. David Peralta, Eduardo Escobar. Missing Ketel Marte is obviously a big blow. They got Cole Calhoun back. If they don't trade everybody, I don't know. We'll see. But that's an interesting matchup to watch. And then the Marlins against Jorge Lopez. It's the Marlins. The Marlins did put up some runs. We talked about that. There were just too many other teams, too many other games with big upside. But Jorge Lopez has been getting rocked. Looks like he's been a little unlucky with a 348 BABIP. But Miami gets a huge park boost and an extra hitter in Baltimore. Something to keep an eye on. I don't know. Leonard, what's going on, bro? Good to see you. Better late than never, right? Dong watching, we're out of here. We're going Tim Anderson, number 1. Timmy's got to come through for me this time. Timmy's got to come through. Tim Anderson against the lefty. Even though this year, Tim Anderson, who has been a lefty master his whole career, is not done so well against lefties. We think that's going to correct itself. Jesse Winker. Stay hot, Jesse Winker. I know Votto is even more hot, but I'm going Jesse Winker. And then we'll go Max Muncy. I know we didn't talk much about the Dodgers, but I know Muncy in particular has had a lot of success against Anthony DeSclafani, who over his career has struggled against lefties. DeSclafani just saw them. I think the Dodgers could be sneaky. DeSclafani's got some aggression coming. I mean, he's been a decent pitcher, but it looks like he's got some aggression coming with a 239 BABIP. He's not that kind of pitcher. He's not that elite where he can maintain some shit like that. And he's playing one of the best offenses in the league. And nobody's going to play it because, number 1, his numbers are decent. Number 2, his game's in San Francisco. On that note, Tim Anderson, Jesse Winker, Max Muncy. That's the Dong Watch. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out at WiseTake.com. Leave some comments. Love hearing from you guys, whether it's about the slate, whether it's about the show. I love reading the comments. So do the dirty to thy neighbor before the dirty's done to you. That being said, for myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.